Hello everyone, hello boot campers, welcome to week 3. I'm VP Anna West and I have the privilege of doing your halfway call with you all. So well done everyone for getting to this stage and not being off the group already. So just a couple of bits of housekeeping from me before I start our training this week, and this week covers the follow-up. So I have been in Arbonne for 8 years and I have been a VP for 6.5 of those years. So this comes with love. But it's very direct. So as part of our homework, we have to do the 5 asks in person. And lots of people are skating around that one and thinking that's not important. That is one of the most important things to do. And people are staying within their comfort zone and just doing the things that are comfortable, like the Instagram reach out methods, which are great as well, but they're not pushing themselves. And the minute you start getting into the habit of thinking, I can make that up tomorrow, I can make that up next week, you have gone into next month mentality. And that's the worst thing you can do for your business. You are not going to push yourself and grow from where you are in your Arbonne business now if you don't do those 5 asks. They are absolutely crucial. And it's that mindset of not thinking, I can't do it tomorrow instead, or I'll just do it tomorrow, because that is not how a VP thinks. That is not how an area manager thinks. It's not that I can manana, I'll do it another time. It's literally, I'll do it now. I have to do it now. And you know, it's 7 days and you're asking 5 people in the 7 days. So, you know, if you have to do everyone on the same day because you're out one day, do it. Just get it done. That whole, I'll make up for it, I haven't quite got there yet, is going to keep you where you're at. And this is a boot camp. So this is why I'm being really direct. That's not good enough for a boot camp. In normal, you know, IC life and DM life and doing your own thing, that's fine if that's where you want to be. You're on this for a reason. You're giving up your Saturday mornings for a reason. So commit to doing those 5 actual asks and not, I didn't quite get there, or I'll make up for it tomorrow. That's not going to cut it. It really isn't. If you were paid $1,000 for every person you spoke to in person, you would do it. You would do those 5 minimum if you were paid that. And you have to think like that's your future paycheck. And I don't mean in the person, I mean in the activity. If you honestly attach a monetary thing to that is going to be how your paycheck will grow, because you're doing the activity that pushes you out of your comfort zone that you're not doing normally. So really, really think about attaching a monetary value, if that's what drives you, to make sure you're doing your 5 asks in person. It's 7 days, guys, 7 days to find 5 new people to talk to. If you were being paid for it, you would do it, and you are being paid for it. You're just not seeing it now. It's that delayed gratification. And I honestly believe, because of this bootcamp, you know, we say things work in about 3 months, you know, 3-month cycles, you'll steal this activity in your business in 3 months' time. Some of you are going to have brand new areas, potentially even people going region qual out of this bootcamp because you've met them, because they've been one of your 5. You want to be those success stories. You don't want to be the person who didn't get anything going on because you didn't ever hit those numbers and you had no consistency in it. So just make sure you are hitting your 5. So that's that for just reiterating the normal homework. So this week we are doing the follow-up. I'm sure all of us have done loads of follow-ups, but again, it's one of the most crucial things about our Arbonne presentation, because if we're not following up, we're not getting any answers from anyone. So we might be doing all of the numbers in terms of presentations, but I honestly think there's kind of 2 strings to my tracking system. Yes, I track my presentations, but I massively track my follow-ups. And lots of people don't track when they're doing it. I almost make it like my mission to try and get the same amount of follow-ups as I do presentations. That is my absolute mission. Each month I'm trying to match them up. Now it doesn't always happen because people obviously flaky, don't cancel, don't get back to us, but that's what you want to do. If you've done 40 presentations, you really, really, really want to have 40 follow-ups, so you've got 40 answers. So make sure we are tracking our follow-ups and think, actually, was that the full package? Because if you're just doing the presentation, you're doing one half of Arbonne. If you're doing the presentation and the follow-up, you really have done both. You've got both sections there, and then it's up to that person. But if you've just done one, you're leaving that kind of half there. So you really want to make sure your follow-ups match your presentation. So you want to make sure that is an absolute must for you all. So we know now, obviously, the follow-up actually begins at the end of the presentation, and don't be afraid to start people then and there. So I end my presentation with the So out of 1 to 10, 1 being never speak to me about Arbonne, and 10 being I want to join today, where do you sit? And again, they're going to give you an answer. And anything above a 6 is a really, really good answer. And it's usually fear-based answers that are stopping them. And then I say to them, so if there's anything I can do today to help you get towards a 10, what else would be stopping you? And then they're going to come up with their reasons or objections, whatever you want to call them, why they're not doing Arbonne. But some people in a presentation will actually say, do you know what? I'm a 10. And you can do it straight away. So don't think you have to send people away for 2 days or 3 days with products in order to start. People can start straight away, and people do start straight away. So I test the water at the end of my follow-up to see where that person's at. And if they're not gunning for it straight away, absolutely, then I'm going to book in my diary straight away when I'm going to see them again. And I'm going to explain to them about the products. These are my employees. They do the work for me. So I'm going to get them back from you in 2 days. Let's get our diaries out now. Now, can you do Tuesday afternoon or Monday after work? And I'm going to give them specific times. And again, those crucial little changes in your language are going to want what makes this so much easier for you and become a habit and become very business-like for you. When I first started, I was like, yeah, I'm free whenever, no problem. I would never see those products again, or it would take me a month to get them back. And the excitement they had initially about doing that presentation has totally died down. So you need to act quickly if they're going away with products. So you literally get your diary out or get your phone out if it's on your calendar on your phone, and tell them the slots that you are available. You're a busy person. You're fitting this around your life. These are what you can do. So I can do Thursday at 10, or I can do Tuesday at 2. And then get them to clarify back to you what works for them. So you've got the follow-up in your diary before that person is going off with your products, with your employees, because you need to make sure you know you are going to be getting them back. So that's absolutely number 1 crucial thing. And then at the follow-up, obviously a little bit of chit-chat, how are you doing? And then again, it's remembering that questions are going to be fine at a follow-up. And we don't need to be defensive about anything that gets said. We just need to listen and offer the answer to the question. And I know we've mentioned it before that you can use the feel, felt, found, but it's a really good way of turning something around so the person doesn't feel attacked and they don't feel like it's only them that's had that. So you can say, if someone says, I've literally got no money to start this business, I can't even buy a single product. You could say something like, I know exactly how you feel. I literally had no money when I started. I was in tons of debt. But what I found that this was an investment in my future, and it wasn't an impulsive purchase. And it's just like opening a coffee shop. You have to buy coffee in order to sell it to your customers. So it's something of you're putting it back on itself and taking that pressure off that person if they come with the objection. Because to tell someone they haven't got any money, again, is quite an embarrassing thing. So feel, felt, found is brilliant when using the questions. So have that in mind whenever you're talking to somebody. But I would always go with questions like, so what did you love most about the presentation? You want to be putting the positive spin on the presentation. So then they're going to tell you, oh my God, what I love most is I love the idea of, having this recurring income, or I love the idea of building a community. I love the idea of helping other people. I love the idea of going to Vegas. And depending on what they say to you is how you're going to obviously tailor the follow-up, because that's obviously what drives them. So if they're saying, I love the idea of going to Vegas, they're obviously about the kind of the frills, the glamour of it all. So again, you can speak more about that in the follow-up once they've told you what they love most. I would avoid saying things like, so what did you think? Because when people are asked, what did you think? They often think they have to question and come up with something negative as well. Well, I thought that, but I didn't think that. So I would always say, what did you love most? And then I'd also do the same for the products. So out of the products you tried, what did you love the most about it? And again, they're going to let you know how they felt about it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over the most common objections. And the great thing is, and I know we all know these, Arbonne is literally like painting by numbers. Once you've had these objections, you've pretty much had them all. In my 8 years, I think once I varied off this for a weird reason, but everything else stays within the confines of what these objections or questions that people are asking for more information. So this is how I would deal with some. So let's go back to the first one. I have no time. So the time is the first biggest question. And again, when you get to the objection that relates to whatever your objection was, and I'd say probably 90% of you on this call had some kind of objection first of all. Most of us weren't straight in yet, got no hesitations. So again, when you get to your objection, if you meet your own objection back to you, obviously you felt found because you have actually had that yourself, and just say that was me, 100% that was me. Make it relatable to that person, and just keep that in mind that we all had an objection at some point and we all ended up doing Arbonne. So again, it's really how we handle the follow-up situation, that we let the person see logic. We're not trying to convince people. There's a saying, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. We're not trying to convince people to do anything. What we're trying to do is people take emotion and fear out of the opportunity and of what's presented in front of them, and let them use logic. And logic can be the difference between people starting. It definitely was to me. And I'll tell you my story once we've gone through the 10. So the first one, I've got no time. I know exactly how you feel. I had no time. Everyone's really, really busy. I mean, everyone's got so much going on in their life. But the thing is, it's going to be that way forever if nothing changes. What I found with my business is that it's actually all about priorities. So it's honestly considering like what your priorities are. And if you see this business as the value and the huge asset that you'll create by paying you a recurring income, you'd make the time. Everyone has 24 hours in a day, and everyone has pockets in the day throughout their day. And if you use those wisely, you can build your business into that. And it might be that you have to like give up a little bit of TV in the evening, or wake up a little bit earlier, or go to bed a little bit later. But it's a short-term choice for a massive long-term gain. And again, I'm using the word choice in my language rather than sacrifice, because again, it is a choice. I don't see it as a sacrifice to do Arbonne now, because my mindset's totally changed, because look at the lifestyle we get to lead. It's not a sacrifice at all. You know, that's not a sacrifice. It's a choice. It's a choice I've made for a massive long-term gain. Arbonne's about working smarter, not harder. And this business can give you time because you coach and grow a team to get leverage. If I could show you how to fit Arbonne into your busy life, do you think it's something you could see yourself doing? Then I would say, right, let's write out your week, Monday to Sunday, and let's write in when you're working. Let's write in when you take the kids to ballet. Let's write in when you're, going out with the girls for a glass of wine. Let's write in all those things you do in the week, and let me see where the pockets of time could be. And I think if you do that with someone who's time poor, they will see there's so many more hours available to people in the day. They just don't realize it. Most people don't do anything between kind of 8:30 and until they go to bed. They don't, unless they're going to a class or something. They actually don't. They sit in front of the TV. So if you can let people know where the pockets of time are, or even saying, right, okay, well, could we take 10 minutes out of your lunch break for you to do, you can do some messages there, that could be 10 minutes. So when you work with the person so they can see it in front of them and it's their own data coming back to them, there's nothing to argue with, because they can see that they do it. And again, use your own situation. You can say, well, look, trust me, I'm a full-time mum, or I'm working full-time, or I'm doing all these things, and this is how I fit it in. So again, they make you feel relatable. So that's the first one. The next one is, I don't have enough money to start. Next big objection. Again, I know exactly how you feel, because I felt the same when I started. But I found once you get this business, you get the bigger picture of what you could create. You could, and if you knew what I knew, you would absolutely find a way to start this business. And if I haven't painted the picture big enough, I'm going to apologize, because I would invest tens of thousands of pounds for what this business is giving me and what I'm learning. It's actually invaluable. The initial investment is literally, a price of a laptop, but it's a drop in the ocean compared to the earnings you could create. Your business tools will set you up for success and will get you enough variety of products and allow lots of people to try it at the same time. So again, it allows you to leverage your time because more people are trying the products. This business is 100% about integrity, and our business is about being a product of the product. So we are firstly the product of the product. This is why you have to have products. And again, you can't open a restaurant without buying food, or a coffee shop without buying coffee. This is absolutely no different. Why don't we think of ways of how you can get started? And again, thinking about how they can get started is a really crucial one, because they're going to think of ways. I know people who've done car boot sales, people who've done bake sales, people who've done anything to get the money together so they can buy an ASVP or buy a full business pack, whatever it is. It's shifting people's mindset that this is not a purchase, this is an investment in the future. And it's thinking how you can get started rather than being closed off to that. And again, painting that picture massive about what this can do. If you need to, you could bring up the slide about the average earnings and saying, once you get to area manager and above, what does an extra, few £1,000s a month look like to you? And again, compare that to us doing an initial investment now. Can you see the scope of this business, what it can be? So really about painting the vision big enough. And I think definitely you have to have enough skin in the game. That's what I would say. You have to have something that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, so you're going to work your business. And if you think what people spend their money on, it's crazy. A night out, going for dinner, 100 quid. It's literally a priority. People buy shoes, people buy handbags, people buy all these things, and they spend their money on it because they attribute value to that. And we've got to make sure they attribute value to a business that can give them the life of their dreams. So number 3 is, I'm not a product person or don't really like products. So the product one. So I would say feel free because neither was I, but this business is 100% learnable. So again, you can say, well, I do love products, but I understand that lots of people don't come from that background. It's 100% a learnable business, and I'm educating myself about what's in products, and I've become passionate because I've educated myself about teaching others. Potentially try and understand the person, if they're saying products, what it is they're not so keen on. So maybe they've had a reaction. Again, explain that this is normal. It's correcting the pH of your skin. You should have probably warned them of that before you give them the products. But again, just go over that, just to make sure it's something they haven't got used to. And again, let them know the ingredients are pure, safe, and beneficial. So it does take a little while for your skin to adapt. And this is a business. So if you weren't too keen on the RE9 range, we've got such a diverse range of products. There's a massive spectrum, and there's something else you're bound to like. So again, if someone says to me, I can't use the RE9, that's no reason for them not to do the business. I would say to them, that's fine. I lead with that because that has clinical results, but that's fine. We've got over 500 other product lines that you could choose. I just trialed that one with you. So lots of other people who would also love the RE9 or love the other 500 products. So who else do you know that has skin and hair and would like to be part of this business? Even if you didn't particularly like the RE9, you haven't tried every single product in the range. And these products are highly, highly consumable. And I would say to this person at the end, would you change your shampoo for £10,000 a month? Of course they would. Of course they would. So it's getting people to see with the product one is that if they're coming from a point of view that they're not into products, and to be honest, I really wasn't into products because I didn't know anything about them. I didn't care about them. I didn't understand what I understand now. But if they're coming from that background that they don't know what the value of the products are, get them to think logically about it being a business. It's a business. There's loads of products in the business, and just because you personally don't like one range doesn't mean that tens of thousands of other people won't. And they're highly, highly consumable. And would they swap their shampoo for £10,000 a month? Of course they would. Everyone would do that. So they're thinking monetary and they're thinking business rather than honing in the products. And then obviously once they're in Arbonne, we get to educate them on what's in stuff. And once you know it, you can't unknow it. So that's how I would talk to that one. Someone saying they don't have that, don't know many people. I would say with the people one, it really doesn't matter. And you probably know a lot more people than you think. You've got to think big, not just your friends and family. It could be the hairdresser or the person from the nail salon, or people you meet in the gym and you meet in a class, or someone you met at a party. It could be your local shop owner, the woman you chatted to on the plane or the bus. We just need to find a few people with skin and hair that have a need for more. We can teach you how to meet new people that you don't already know, and everything is learnable. So you get a coach, you get me, and I'm going to coach you through how to introduce this business to new people. But remember, this is also a global business, and with technology and social media, we can contact people all over the world at our fingertips, and I can help you through all of that. Why don't we write a few names down and let's see how many we can get up to? And again, doing that with them at the follow-up, if that's their objection, if they then suddenly see, 35 names appearing in the next few minutes, then they'll realize actually this is a growing business and how many people you can connect to. Pull up their Facebook, pull up their Instagram, and just say how you can connect to people. Number 5, my partner or family says no. feel, felt, found, if this is you. My family members definitely told me not to do this personally when I started. But what I remembered is I shouldn't take advice or guidance from someone who's not in the position that I want to be, or not in the industry that I want to be. So unless your partner has an internet business, a successful network marketing business, or a millionaire from our industry, do they honestly know enough about it to be advising you? Richard Branson, Lord Sugar, Robert Kiyosaki, Warren Buffett are all multi-millionaires endorsing the health and wellness industry and network marketing or social marketing. So who's best to take advice from? And I know our friends and family are really influential, and most people look for their support. But make your own decisions based on the information that you have had, the facts that you have had. Your confidence will grow, and I will support you. I'm going to be there for you. And if you knew what I knew, there's no way you wouldn't find a way to get started. Now, would it help if I spoke to your partner and explained the opportunity to give them the full picture? Because they're advising you on something they haven't got the full information on. So again, I would turn that around to them and say, look, they need to get the full information, the full package before I tell them, so I can tell them what it is. You can't advise someone when you don't know all the answers. So you really want to get in front of that person. Number 6, I'm not confident like you. I would say absolutely anyone can learn this business. And if you've ever learned anything to read, to write, to ride a bike, to drive a car, it is 100% learnable. And you're seeing me 8 years on or 8 weeks on, whatever it is in your business. And I wasn't like this when I started. This simple has a blueprint for success. Anybody can follow it, and it doesn't matter who you are or what your background is. Everyone gets the same level of teaching, coaching. So I can teach you the skills. You just need to bring the effort. And we don't need to reinvent the wheel, do anything differently. It literally is, I will pay the way. It's a copycat business. So nobody starts knowing anything in anything you do. If you go and do a degree, you don't know every in and out of the course. You have to do it to learn it. And it's the same thing with this. We're going to give you an overview, but absolutely you have to be in it to learn as you go along. But I'm going to be there every step of the way, and everyone gets better with practice. It's just a learning curve, and you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. So shall we get you started? So go in again. If I'm dealing with that objection, asking the question. Number 7, I don't really get this one anymore, but I'm going to put it in anyway. I did 8 years ago, but absolutely, because there's so many other social marketing companies now. Is it a pyramid? Doesn't actually pop up, but someone said that to me, I would say, that's really interesting that you said that. Can I ask, what's your knowledge on pyramid schemes? And again, listen and let them answer, because most people actually don't really know what they're talking about. They're probably talking about the Ponzi scheme where people put money in and there was no products involved. So really try and get to the bottom of why they said that. And then I would say, look, I know when I started, I was literally just uneducated on network marketing. And once I found out more about it, it made so much sense. Pyramid schemes are absolutely massively illegal. We're regulated by a company called the Direct Selling Association, and we have been since we've started. And most pyramid schemes only last for about 2 years, and they're based on financial, just putting money in. There's no product it changes, where we're a product-based business. Our one is actually a 40-year-old company, and we're owned by the multi-billion-dollar group Rocher. Have you heard of Group Rocher before? Have a Google of it. So we're a product-based company. People shop online for pure, safe, and beneficial products from the independent consultant's recommendation, and the independent consultant gets paid a thank you instead of Arbonne advertising. That's it. In a pyramid scheme, you have one person at the top with all the money and other people in the pyramid getting paid to invest. Arbonne is a network of people consuming a product. So we don't get paid for people to join. We get paid on the amount of product being consumed. So our pay doesn't necessarily come from the number of people. So your success is based on effort, and there's nothing to stop you from being more successful than anyone else in the business, which is massively unlike a traditional business with one CEO at the top. In fact, that's probably more pyramid shape. Where do you work? Blah, blah, blah. So chat to them where they work. Oh, I work at Barclays. Okay, so could you ever put loads of effort in and become the CEO of Barclays? Absolutely not. So again, relate it back to that person so they can see. Sometimes I'd mention a step breakaway if they're the type of person that really wants the ins and outs. So again, you can go through that. You can break away from your sponsor and earn any amount of money you want. It's effort based, and I can teach you the skills. And then I'd also let them know, look, we're affiliated with Tiffany's and Mercedes, and we have been since day one. Again, this speaks volume about the credibility of the company associated with us. I'm aware that I am running out of time, so I'm going to go through the next ones really quickly. I don't want to sell. I hate the idea of selling to. So this is one of my misconceptions about network marketing. This is a business not about selling products. It's about consuming them and sharing others to do the same to create an income. So you're not, people don't worry about their wrinkles at night time, but they do worry about paying the mortgage. This is a business based on people consuming products. And if you think about how many products you use in a day, let's just go through it. What did you use today to get to meet me here at the follow-up? And again, get them to speak the products that they've used. You've gone through all these products. Right, okay. So you're already consuming these products, and so is everyone you know. So you're not selling to people something they don't want. This is something people need. And it's just about showing them how we can fulfill their needs with a higher caliber product and also create them an income stream if they wish to join the business. Number 9, I would go this one. How much money are you making right now? So you might have got this one. So I would say, well, look, when you start this business, your mindset changes from that of an employee who's looking for a monthly paycheck to that of an entrepreneur. I'm building an asset, not a job. And the money that I'm going to earn is going to duplicate over time. I'm learning to be a successful entrepreneur whilst making new friends along the way. And I know that I'm not going to recognize my life in 5 years' time because of the huge vision of what this business will give you. I can highly recommend this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which helped me shift my mind to entrepreneurial thinking. Would you be up for reading that? Most people in a traditional business don't break even for about 2 to 5 years in a normal business. And I know in my business, I'm absolutely dead set on breaking even in 6 years, or I broke even after 2 months, whatever your story is. And you've got to make a shift to a different way of thinking. It's completely changed how I see the effort I put in. I'm going to be putting the effort in now to reap the rewards in the future. And I'm developing amazing skills. I'm developing confidence, and I'm creating an asset that will pay me for future generations. And no one could invest invest money to learn the kind of skills that I'm developing. You would literally pay tens of thousands of pounds to be on training courses that we get for free in Arbonne. This is business about putting the hard work in now to reap unbelievable benefits in later. It's a delayed gratification process. So as the compound effect happens, and this is something that I've learned in this business, you start to appreciate how wealth is created. Do you know about the compound effect? And again, you can do the penny doubling. So you can say to them, if I give you, would you rather £1 million now or a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? So again, you can go through that example with them. So then I would add, so although I might not be earning the big bucks now, I can introduce you to my regional vice president who has the car and a lot of choices in their life because they chose to jump and start their business. When would you like to meet her or him? And again, pop that in now if that's what their objection is, that they're thinking you haven't earned any money. And number 10, the products are too expensive. So our products are unlike any on the high street. They adhere to the highest Swiss regulations, which means they have no nasty or toxic ingredients in them. It also means they're not bulked out with things like animal fat or petrol. So a small amount goes a really, really long way because they're highly concentrated. And there is a saying, if you buy cheap, you buy twice. Honestly, you get one face for your whole life. Yet we have hundreds of shoes and handbags and clothes when really we should be investing in our skin and our nutrition. And trust me, once people try these products, they notice a difference. And they would be worth hundreds and hundreds of pounds in the shops because of the ingredient quality and the technology behind the product. However, because we distribute them via network marketing, they're a fraction of the cost and they're massively affordable. And they're comparable to something you would get in a department store. And we get a 35% discount off the Arbonne products. And we also have a preferred client program, which is 20% off throughout the year. And then if they were if they're still talking about the products being too expensive, I would point out that we don't all buy things based on price. If we all bought things based on price, everyone would drive a Skoda or a Fiat Panda or whatever a really cheap car is. Everyone on the road would be driving the same car if only we bought on price. Okay. And apologies to anyone who's got those cars. I'm just trying to think of a basic. It's fine. Everyone has to start somewhere. Trust me, I wasn't driving a Merc 8 years ago either. And I'm sure none of the other VPs were either. I know Sarah Dunning had a Metro with gaffer tape on the wing mirror. So there you go. But if everyone only bought things on price, we would all drive the same car, a basic car. But we don't. And do you know why we don't? Because people appreciate and they strive for in cars and the same in products: performance, prestige, quality, engineering, and luxury. And that is exactly what we have in the products. So get that person to think that, even if you're in a coffee shop, get them to look out the window and see the different types of cars. Not everyone is just price orientated. Some people want the prestige. Some people want the performance behind it. Some people want the quality. Some people want the luxury. They're willing to pay more for something that is pure, safe, and beneficial. So that is my 10 objections. So the homework this week is to track both sides of it, presentations and the follow-ups, and try and make them match, to try and get that person followed up. And of those 10 objections, I would choose your top 7 that you think come up often to you, and practice one a day, either on the same person if you've got the same family member, or even if it's your cat. Practice one objection a day so that flows off the tongue and it's in your language, not my language, so that you have the response back to that. And again, we don't need to be defensive, we just need to be factual and let people know the logic in it. Because trust me, I wouldn't be in this business today if Melanie Dean, National Vice President, hadn't logically sat me down for my follow-up, because I told her I didn't have the money to get started, I was about to buy a place and I needed to buy a washing machine. And she said to me, but a washing machine is not an asset. It's not going to make you money. It's going to cost you money over time. Unless you start a laundry, a washing machine is not going to make you money. But investing in the business is going to pay you again and again and again. And it's an asset you could have. And that slight switch of her doing the follow-up to me and her saying that to me was the difference between me starting then and there and me walking away from this opportunity. So never underestimate the power of those follow-ups. And that's why it's crucial. We have to allow our people who've been presented to go through the logic of that. If I hadn't have had a follow-up with Mel, I wouldn't have joined. And no way would I have joined, because I had all these fears and doubts, as most people do. So it's crucial that we book in the follow-up, get it in straight away, and just practice those 10. Honestly, once you've got them off the tongue in your own language, nothing's going to stop you, because it is the same objections and we've all had them and we've all overcome them and we've all joined our businesses. So thank you, everyone. That is your homework for the week. Track both. So I want you to track both the follow-ups and the presentations and make them match to the same person, to the same follow-up, and choose 7 of those 10. And every day I want you to practice. It's only going to take you a couple of minutes. Practice on somebody, get them to object to you, and you practice the response. Thank you so much, everyone. Look forward to seeing you next week and seeing all of the homework done. Bye.